All right, take two, cause I got distracted. Anyway, I try not to repeat myself on some of these topics because it does get redundant at one time. So, like, I had to go back to where I was saying that the assortment of female rap today is in the gutter, just so I don't repeat myself into saying things like try to repeat myself because obviously it can get, like I said, it can get redundant. But anyway, I do want to talk about the oversexualization that it is happening today. That I think we've all seen, like, get worse over time. Like it was like not even just in music, but in social, like this it's just in culture, in just black culture really. Like, and I feel like when I look out and sometimes where I go and then you see like people just twerking in random places that you really shouldn't be twerking in, and then you see black women twerking in places you really don't kind of like see them twerking. You see people over sexualized and stuff, whether it's male or female. Our songs are more sexual now, like where songs are literally just like slut me out. Now, don't get me wrong. I think we are sexual by nature. It's just human nature, but it's still like even like the songs of days when I'm growing up, even my grandparents growing up, yeah, they were sexual, but they were discreet. You got your tutti frutti good booty, but other than that, like sharing our love between the sheets, that was more or less love making and then just fucking. Our songs are just like the songs are just fucking. So it comes into this culture where I feel like a lot of people, not only we don't know what love is, we don't even know how to talk to each other. So it gets to a point where it's just like how do one talk to each other, because at one point, okay, and look, and the funny thing is, I was watching It's Tay Baby, and she has the thing about not being on Fresh and Fit because Fresh and Fit talking about, oh, we don't like y'all, most of y'all, because you know, and my opinion when I looked at that video was that's Myron, and I tell people all the time that's Myron. I think if Myron, Myron is a different breed first of all. And I tell people, I want people to understand this. This is why when people watch Fresh and Fit, it was like, oh, men, it's like some of the things that Myron say, and I think they're based off of Myron's opinion, is not really men, but it's just, and even something like, I saw a white man on the whatever podcast or some shit like that. And it's just like, and he could have 100 kids, as long as he's looked at this, the hero or some shit like that. And you can take care of, that's him. Even Andrew Tate, like, I think Andrew Tate is like needed, but is also a character. And I think people need to realize like we need to understand the character and not and what they're and not and people fall in love with the character, but you really got to pay attention to what they're saying. And I tell people all the time, take whatever good things you can get from them and then take them out, because there are some shits that I've heard even from Fresh and Fit and even from Kevin Samuels, who like I think uh, still today is like one of the fairest of, I would say fairest of them all. But I agree with him a lot on, except on some things. And some of these podcasts like the media tutorials reviews and the O'Shea Datsons and the lead attorneys, Dennis Sperlins, all that. You take the good you can from them, and then you base it, and base them off your own opinion. Do you rock with this? Do you rock with not? Because life is about figuring things out. So in this modern era, and I'm looking at the oversexualization, and the thing is, like, I feel like I said, I feel like I've seen it decline, but it like really got big off of the Amaro slut walk, and hit, and even though I love Cardi B, and I will die on this hill that most of these people that bag on Cardi B would marry Cardi B in a fucking second. I will die on that hill, and even some of these red pill people, y'all would marry Cardi B in a fucking second. Um, A lot of her views come from her being a stripper. And like in that fast life, fast money life, it's the same thing with Amber Rose. It's just like, these people that came from stripping, it's just like it's about getting money, chasing the bag instead of like really trying to console a real good relationship. Because I feel like even in today's society, it's more or less about chasing the bag than it's more or less about chasing the bag than really trying to find someone that connects with you. And I feel like it's like bag money first, connection second. And even though money is important, and I do think money is important, it shouldn't be the end all be. It shouldn't be the first thing you look for. I do feel like it. I do feel like ambition, because ambition and goals. Someone with ambition and goals should be the first thing you look for. Is like, can you grow with this person? Can I grow with this person? Now, the fact that if you make money or not is like, because the person with ambitions and goals knows how to make money, or will do what he can, and without really selling his soul to make money. That's how I feel. Money's still important, but can you grow with this person? That's where that's where it leads to. And also, like, men, we also got to admit that we are the problem, because even though, and I've seen it, a lot of men are really disgusted by some of this over sexualization, but we still watch it, including myself. Like, I'm not exempt to this either. I know, you look. I've listened to Pound Town. Even like, there's some things I won't like listen to. Like, I've never listened to Sukihana's music, but I have listened to Cardi, and I like WAP. I like Megan, but I think Megan is a good rapper. Uh, like I said, I like old, and like I said in the last video, I more or less like old Nicki Minaj, where she was hungry and she was being instead of this new Nicki Minaj jumping on new people's records and shit, and trying to follow a trend instead of her being a trendsetter. To me, Nicki Minaj is always the trendsetter. She should be the female Jay Z, in my opinion. But I think Cardi is more or less the female Jay Z than, not lyrically, but the way she'll put people on and they'll get big off of it because of her name. Um, but also, you look at people, what people doing in a regular life, not even celebrities, people doing in regular life, like going into random places and twerking in places that you shouldn't be twerking at, like the four women that went into Ghana and, like, I guess went to a castle in Ghana, and it has a lot of history towards slavery, and they're twerking on top of it. It's like, you think this is really a place that you really want to twerk on top of, and why is twerking the first thing that you want to do? Now, I say like I said, we are the problem, because we always talking about the good wholesome women that we want or we want to marry, but are we really pushing those women to the forefront instead of the Cardis? Instead of the Cardis, the Megan Thee Stallions, the Sukianas in the world, the Lottos in the world, are we pushing those world? If anything, it's just like, I feel like we know they exist, but we don't want to push them to make it look like we're simping, and we got to get out of that, because I don't think it's simping. Because if you like what you like, you will push that to the forefront. So if, like, I remember when Barack Obama was president, and people like Michelle Obama, you know, and people loved how the way Michelle Obama moved. Us as black men, and I've heard it especially from comedians talk about, yo, I like Michelle Obama. That is a real woman. We say that about the Felicia Rashad. Like I said, the Felicia Rashads of the world, the Angela Bassett's, the Viola Davises, the Janelle Monáe at one point, and even now, people looking at her like, say what y'all want. And I know a lot of people looking at Uncle Luke because he's the man, he made all that Miami party music because he is from Miami. But say what you want. When someone that made Pop Your Pussy and Doodle Brown is concerned about an artist, that should, honestly, that should make you draw an eyebrow instead of saying, oh, you the one that, it's like, damn, if Uncle Luke is worried about you, then we should really take a concern. That's how I look at it. I said that man made like pop your pussy, doodle brown, and shake your titties, babies, and kept it coming. Great songs, by the way. But he made those party music and all that other stuff, and he's like, he looking at Janelle Monáe like, you good, you good, and then everybody's looking at that, and it's just like she's 37. So, but you got Tracy Ellis Ross. It was like doing a topless joint. She got her nipples covered, but she got a picture of her like topless and all that other stuff, and like at 50 something. I know she had 50 something. People looking at her like she's chasing clout. Um, and people looking at us clout chasing. We just went through the Kiki Palmer shit, and like I said, and like I've always said, I'm not a fan of see through. I tell people all the time, I'm not a fan of see through. That's just me. That's just a personal thing. I just never been a fan of see through. So I look at men. We look at stuff like that, but you know the fact that her boyfriend, he had a concern and people dragged him for it. But like I said, some shit you just kind of deal with. And what else? What else is going on in the world? And it's just that I think a lot of people be seeing things remotely sexual, and then like man, I know we like these bitches do it by themselves, but at the same time, it's just like we know what we're seeing, we're not liking. We know what we're seeing, we're not liking. So what are we doing to change about it? And I feel like, look, telling them to dress modestly or all that shit, it's not going to work because they're going to do the opposite. They're going to dress more sexually. They're going to dress more modestly, even if they're not doing it for us, even if they're not doing it for male attention, even if they're not doing it to for the male gaze. Like just don't do that. What, in my opinion, the only answer is you support the people that do the right thing. That 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 you would look at as a wife. Like this is a woman that I would take home to mom. This is the woman I would say like she could be my wife. This is the woman I say that's good women that I would want my child to follow. I would want my daughter to follow. You pick out these good women that you feel like that is worthy of those titles. Say it again, these women that are worthy of those titles, and you push them to the front. You push them to the front. This is the one. Like to me, this is the ideal woman. Like that's not to me. That's not simping. It's just showing people what you fuck with. This is the ideal woman. I feel like if I wanted to marry a woman, I want her to be like this. That's not simping, and I feel like brothers, we should start doing that. Um, like I can think of to me, I can think of 3 or 4 women that I was like, yo, she's a very good woman. She's hardworking. She does her business, and she doesn't be on that smash the patriarchy bullshit or black men. We gotta love our we do gotta love our women, and sometimes as we are bettering ourselves, because like I said, there are women on our side that I feel like that rocks with us. That even though like, and they show us the love, as some of y'all men like to dog them, and I think, and I blame it on the red pill rage because a lot of y'all been burnt by so many women before that sometimes y'all swing is what I call swinging in the dark. Like you're swinging and you're hitting anybody, and sometimes you might hit people that fuck with you. And and this is what I tell people: if you have that red pill rage, I need you to get that out of your system. As someone that's been there before, it is not healthy, and it's not cute. I don't want to use the word cute, but it's just like it's not manly, in my opinion. That's not manly because blaming women for all your troubles and all that stuff. Like we can understand, like some of the shit the modern women does is very asinine, it's very stupid, it's very delusional. We get that, okay. And the thing is, and some of these women, like in my opinion, they're just gonna die alone. Just like Kevin Samuel says, buy a dog, die alone. Some of these women with these delusional values, they're gonna die alone. So what do? The women that is on your program, and the woman that is on your program that I don't want to say that is submissive. Let's just say that the woman on this program, fit, family, submissive, and you know everything that you need in a woman, push that to the forefront. That's the one. And then hope but I guess that's what the passport bros are doing. Is just like, oh, these women, they're what I need. That's why they're over there. I know a lot of people hate the passport bros, but I mean I know that's what they're doing. It's like these are women, but only thing about passport bro is they don't you don't have to dog black women doing it. It's just like fuck it, I'll go over there. So like don't get me wrong, I understand passport bros. Like I told people all the time, I understand why passport bros are a thing. You just don't need, in my opinion, you just don't need to dog them out like that. But that's just my opinion on that. But let me know what you guys think. And how do y'all feel about the over sexualization that we're seeing today? Till then, my name is Oskino Fly, and I'm out. Peace.